So if Man United 1, Crystal Palace 3, absolute disgraceful performance from Manchester United today. I don't know. I'm lost for words. I really am lost for words. It really was a horror show. None of them, absolutely none of them can walk off that pitch saying that they've done anything apart from Van de Beek. Where do you stand on that?
Speechless, to be honest, but we're atrocious from the first whistle to the final whistle. Never really got going. I think last season we saw it in spells, especially after lockdown, where we were slow starting and it affected our whole game. That happened again today. We were just miles off it. We've been absolutely bullied. Lindelof, in particular, at the back, absolutely bullied. Ayew and Zaha constantly looking at Fred Townsend as well. And I think ultimately we deserve this result, if not even worse than this. I think we were just atrocious, like you say. And yeah, I'm worried.
We've got to start at the centre-backs there. So there's so many places we can start because it was an absolute shit show. It was horrible all over the pitch in every department. But in particular, at centre-half, what the hell is going on? We've seen it for so many times. So for this question mark over Lindelof and Maguire together, Maguire gave countless balls away, shocking in possession. Lindelof brushed aside too easily, weak, flimsy. How long are we going to have to see this pairing?
Hopefully not much longer, to be honest. Ed Woodward sitting there watching that. Surely that's got to give him a kick up the arse to get something done. I just get concerned that we're going to turn to panic boys now because, as usual, we've left it too late. But yeah, centre-backs, I've said it for a while. Lindelof in particular, I think he's very vulnerable. I know why people call him the Iceman because he melts under any pressure, to be honest, and I never fully trust him at the back. Maguire is far too slow. But on the ball as well, like you mentioned, giving the ball away, sloppy. We're just so slow moving the ball, so passive. We've never looked like creating anything, really. The only positive we can take from it is that Donny scored on his debut, but other than that, it was just absolutely embarrassing.
It was, and I think embarrassing is the key word there. And no disrespect to Crystal Palace because they absolutely deserved the win. Yeah. I said it before, if you're not at the races, Zaha and Ayew will cause you problems. And they did, even before that penalty, the first time, which even shouldn't have been a penalty, they were knocking on the door. They should have scored, knocking on the door. So in terms of our own players, though, Pogba just looked way off the pace, shocking. If with the team selection, Dan James dragged at halftime, awful. Do you have any sympathy with Ollie in terms of players coming back, not fit, not quite there yet, or did he get his selection wrong? What I just don't understand how bad we were. How do you see it?
I think, of course, we say that lack of investment is costing us. We know that, but you can't blame this purely on that. At the end of the day, the team that we've put out, you would expect still to be good enough to beat Palace at home. I think, yeah, of course, there is the element that Palace played already. We haven't played, so we are a week behind in our preparation. But the fact that, like we mentioned, not one player comes off that pitch, not one player we can say stands out having a positive performance. Ollie needs to take some criticism for that, whether it's because he hasn't got them up for it before the game, not like he should be the one to get them up for it. You should be able to get yourself up for it, Old Trafford, first game of the season. But wherever it is, I think it just shows that our club right now is an absolute mess from top to bottom. It's not just the board. It runs all the way through. And it needs sorting out because we said we want to close the gap. Teams around us are strengthening. And look at us today. We're falling further and further behind.
Yeah, another player wasn't at the races today. I was kind of played in a whole host of positions, and I really didn't expect him to last the 90. I really thought Solskjaer would have made a change with Scott McTominay. I'm not just digging out McTominay only because I have said Pogba was shocking. Bruno, defensively, at least he ran around and tried, but he, again, didn't impact the game, so he was just as bad. But McTominay at times today, awful. I don't know how Fred can't get on that pitch.
Matic stands out to me, and I know Ricky will like me saying that, but at least then I feel like we'd have a bit of control in that midfield. And I just felt like we were completely overrun. We're giving the ball away, being pressed, no composure on the ball, sloppy passes, suicidal balls across the pitch. And that was from all of them, Pogba, McTominay, Bruno. None of them were good enough on the ball. So I think if we're being truthfully honest with ourselves, every single midfielder can be put into that bracket. But I think you have to look at it and think, if Matic is playing there, yes, he hasn't got the legs, but maybe he gives us a bit more security. He'll do those simple passes, keep it ticking over, keep trying to find those forward passes. And we just seem clueless. I've seen players miscontrolling the ball and they're playing for Manchester United at Old Trafford. Like that happens at Sunday League level. It's shocking. And like I say, individually, players have cost us yet again today.
Yeah, and I can only talk about things that I observed that really stuck out like a sore thumb to me. I don't want to look like I'm digging out just only individuals, but we have to talk about it. I know everyone was bad, but the right-hand side with Dan James and Fosu Mensah, it stunk to me. It stunk. It was amateurish. I didn't like that at all. Luke Shaw coming back into it. What did you make of him fresh back?
No, him and Lindelof cost us for the first goal. I think you can't debate that. Like I said, every player has been absolutely shocking as far as I'm concerned. I think Luke Shaw offered us a bit more going forwards. That's one thing I will say. Whereas I think Fosu Mensah, he looks a bit clueless when he's got the ball. He never looks like his decision is finally made up. He never looks composed. And it's similar for Dan James. I think if he cannot run on the outside, he can't really do anything. That's how it strikes me at the moment. And when it's not that kind of game where it's not open, he massively struggles. And I text you, I said I was surprised to see him starting today. I was hoping I'd be pleasantly surprised, but unfortunately, like you mentioned, he got dragged at half-time, and I think rightly so.
Yeah, Martial couldn't get into the game as well. We couldn't even get the ball to him. It was just a massively frustrating game. I say frustrating. They were just poor. They just really was poor. Look, it's been a horrible last couple of days. Spurs have announced 2 signings today. Liverpool announced 2 signings yesterday. Arsenal got their signings in. Chelsea got their signings in, and we've lost 3-1. This was the worst possible mix of things that could happen after our frustration as fans over the last week or so. Yeah. How do you see it panning out over the next week? You spoke about maybe panic buys, but do you think we'll see some incomings?
I think we've got to. We've got to. I mean, you can't watch that performance there and tell me that we don't need to invest. I'm just hoping that it's not panic buys. I'm hoping that we just pay the asking price for Sancho now and get it done. It's clear we need investment. Centre-back is another one that I'm really massively concerned about. We can't trust that to be our partner for the rest of the season. We look vulnerable. We played against Palace today. Imagine Werner running at centre-backs after seeing that today. He must be rubbing his hands thinking, I'm going to get a hat-trick against us. Like, it's embarrassing. You can't put any trust into the players, and that's the thing I hate about it. You can't fully trust the players that Ollie has put out onto the pitch at the moment. And until we invest and get the quality, I feel that that's the way that it's going to be, to be honest.
So if this is the bit where I normally ask you who your man of the match was, but obviously we can't do that today. I'll tell you what, worst player of the game, who are you giving it to?
It's so hard. Lindelof, I think he's had a hand in both goals, so I'd have to give it to Lindelof.
I don't even like doing it, but it's that bad. It's that embarrassing. We literally have to pick out who was the worst, and they can take that. So I'll see you at the player ratings. I'll see you in a bit.
Cheers, Flex.
Nice one.